I'd like to call to the order the Committee of the Whole for June 23rd, 2020 at 6:05 p.m. We've done the pledge. Roll call.
Alderpersons Madden.
Here.
Kubaki.
Here.
Engelhardt. Here. Kapusta.
Here.
Terrence. Here. Hamel is absent. Wolf.
Here.
And Mayor Pekulski.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
Thank you. Statement of public notice.
This meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law.
Thank you. Can I get approval of the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Hear none. All those in favor of the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Do we have any minutes to approve?
No, there's no minutes.
No minutes to approve. New business. Discuss 2021 planning calendar and budget goals. So in front of you, you have a outline of the calendar. Things in highlight are meeting dates. I don't know if Sharon wants to come up and talk about this at all. Does everyone see the copy in your packet of what the dates are and everything?
If you made them, I'll take one.
I do.
Yeah. I've got them all logged in, so.
Thank you.
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, you got both of them, huh?
Thank you very much.
So obviously the first date on here is today to approve the timeline. And then the ones that are highlighted are the meetings that we'll be attending, discussing budget. This should follow the same, from what I understand, it's following the same format we've done in previous years. Any questions, comments, input? Everyone okay with that part?
Or does anybody have any conflicts with the dates?
Yeah. It's important to try to make all these.
No.
And August 25th, I won't be here.
And we did have to limit some of the dates just due to the election.
Can you, I can't hear you. Is that mic on?
I'm sorry, we did have
Okay.
to reduce some of the dates and move them up because of the August election.
Okay.
Okay. So that one's pretty straightforward. Then the other sheet you got is the summary budget guide. It talks about goals.
I have a question about the revolving loan fund. And I see that, how much money, first of all, is in that fund?
Approximately $500,000 to $600,000. However, there are two accounts receivable accounts, which
Okay. So the proposal is to extinguish that fund
Yes,
and disperse those funds for the Hillendale project?
correct.
correct.
Okay, and I'm assuming we're going to discuss that because that fund was used over the years for a lot of businesses, and I know a lot of businesses found those funds to be valuable.
It did. My understanding is state law is requiring us to, wasn't there some change in the?
So they basically forced us to close the account, and because the funds were provided to the city before 1992, we were fortunate that we get to keep all the funds. We don't have to return anything back to the state. So
Can a portion of those funds still be used for fostering business improvements?
Of course, that will be your decision.
Okay.
Once we get through capital and I run the numbers to see how much funds we have available to take care of the Hillendale project, then I can let you know if there's excess available. And the other good news is we will be closing 2 TIDs in 2021, so there will be funds distributed for future loans with those 2
Okay. All right.
districts as well.
Good. All right, thank you.
How big would that be?
I'm not sure yet
anticipated?
because the funds have to be allocated to all the districts, the state, the school, and so on. So I don't have a hard number.
Got a wild guess?
Sharon doesn't like
Maybe
wild
like
guesses.
200,000, maybe 200,000,
Yeah.
somewhere around there, 2 to 300.
Okay. So those funds could be
Oh, yes.
used for that
Yep.
purpose as well. Okay, great.
Yep,
Thank
we're
you.
in actually a very good financial situation for 2021.
Okay,
So.
thank you.
Any specific questions on the goals or the summary? Like I said, this should be very similar to what you've seen in years past. The changes the things that are in red are slight changes that we did this year, like under comprehensive goals, limit one-time funding sources. It's just said that. I had asked to change that goal with the exception of non-recurring capital costs. So if there's something that pops up that's going to be a one-time capital cost, I think we should look at using one-time sources if that's the case. But I didn't want to avoid that because if not for that, what are you ever going to use those funds for? So, questions, comments? All right. If you have questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to myself or Sharon. Probably Sharon for the most part because she's going to answer the questions from me if otherwise.
One other item would be the merit award.
Yes.
Any recommendation?
So we have also,
I did not make copies of that, but I could.
is that in their packet?
No.
Okay. So we need to get some input on what we want to put in for merit increases for staff this year. Per the contract for Muskego Police, the patrol officers will be getting a 1.51%, and specialists, detectives, and 5+ year officers will be getting a 1.76% pay increase. I can pass this along. We've gotten some feedback from what other entities are doing everywhere, and it ranges. I'll just before I pass this back and forth, it ranges from a wage freeze to a high of Oconomowoc is doing a 2.25%. The ones that are doing merit increases, it seems like 1.5 seems to be pretty similar, pretty common across the board. But if you want to pass that there and back.
So is it just a merit increase? Are we doing other increases, did you
So
say?
you always have, you did that last year. You also have your pay for performance, which is.
Okay, and then there's a merit on top of it.
Yes.
That's, okay, I just want to make sure that's clear.
Well, you can choose
Yeah, I know.
between both. You
Right.
don't
We've
have
done
to
different
do-
things over the years,
Right.
yeah.
So this is just for the purpose of developing the budget. We aren't approving
Correct. You're
this
still going
tonight.
to approve and pass it with the budget, but we need some kind of guidance of what to plug in and build our budget around.
Well, it looks,
Obviously, payroll is one of our biggest budget items that, from an operating standpoint.
If we could have had this information up front, it would have been a lot easier.
yeah.
Put
I
on
just received a lot of it and I was hoping to get more. And
Okay,
again,
I'm just saying, that's
these are
fine.
not hard numbers.
Right.
These are just staff who said this is what we would like to see in the budget. It has not been authorized. It is not
No
built
one-
into anything. It's just conversation at this
No
point.
communities have passed anything, yet they're all in the same point. So there are these email chains, the question went out, this is what they were said, here's what we're going to feed into our budget, what their entities similar to you, their county boards or their village boards or their common councils, what they end up approving or changing is going to be all across the board. So
And that is why I did not provide it in the
What did we do
packets or
last year?
handed out.
I don't
What was
remember.
that?
What did we do last year?
2% merit and a 1% COLA
Okay,
to the
that
pay
sounds right.
scales.
That sounds right.
Well, in doing some quick research, I'd say just plug in 1.5%, just
Yeah,
place to start from.
it's a starting point.
Yep.
So
Okay.
which one? 1.5 or 1%?
1.5, yeah?
1.5? Okay.
You're talking on the merit side, right, Kevin?
Yep,
Okay.
yes.
So 0 COLA and 1.5% merit award.
Well, cost of living, you gotta throw something in there too.
Yeah.
That seems
we-
to be the
do the 1%
Do
trend.
we have a
again.
number what the?
1%.
What the?
The majority of
index is?
responses were no COLA and just merit.
Do we have actual what's the term
No,
I'm looking for?
no, I do not.
All right. Do you want us to look that up and
Yeah.
plug that in, or if there's an actual cost of living increase based on, I forget, what's the term I'm looking for on that?
COLA,
It's COLA, but there's one that,
0.8,
0.8?
that's the social security projected COLA increase.
yeah, I believe that went down. I didn't want to
Yeah.
quote it, but I did read that.
Well, if you plug it in at .8, we can always change it.
That's right. That's why I said we
Holding
just do like we did
spot.
last year, we did
Yeah,
two.
why don't you,
one
why
and
don't
one
we
and a
make a
half.
recommendation of putting in at 1% for the COLA?
Yeah.
We have time to adjust that, but I'd rather do that than 0.8
And 1.5.
and then go up to 1. I'd rather go 1 and,
Sure.
And we did two, you said last year, and one on the COLA. So that's not too bad, I would think, if we end
Yeah,
up
1 and
somewhere.
1.5 are good figures to work with. 1 for the COLA.
1 for COLA, 1.5 for merit.
Yeah.
As long as we're in good financial health, you said.
For another year. I didn't look that far ahead yet.
All right. Anything else on that? Next item is polling place locations for the August election, August 11th. Staff's preferring and recommending to do like we did this spring is to have it here in City Hall on one location. Some of our locations, for one, aren't going to be allowing us in because of COVID. They were happy. You can talk to it, but you were happy with how it went. You're comfortable with doing it all in one location. It works good. It's non-confusing for residents. We just say, go vote at City Hall. I know some of them had in their head that we always voted in a certain area, but now we've got one election under our belt.
And we have all of our supplies here. We are expecting difficulties recruiting poll workers, so it makes it much easier to administer. Everything's here. All of our staff is here.
Now, didn't New Berlin have several locations and it went well?
I'm not sure.
I mean, that's a success story I heard, and it's right next to us, so I don't know, I'm just throwing it
We're
out there.
extremely limited, though, and time is an issue.
I don't know where they had their polling places, were they on public places, or if they were, like, we go off-site, right, so, private businesses or whatever, but,
We've done a lot of research, and there really isn't anything with the exception of the high school. But again, I'm not sure if they're going to be starting school or not.
well, that's
and
right down the
I
block from
just-
here anyway.
If they're in school, they're not going to want us there.
No, and they're going to be preparing the school for
And that's
their
why
students.
St. Paul pulled out, right, because they didn't,
And-
the security
Yep,
issues of
and we are
Paul.
not allowed in the nursing homes yet.
I'm sure the churches would be an issue too.
Yes. And
I
it
suppose-
did go very well, the April. And now we're experienced, so August should go much better.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Having worked it for many, many years, April went very, very well considering how jammed it was to put it in order and everything. I think our bigger problem might be how many early votes we get.
Absentee ballots.
That's
Yes, we
probably
do.
gonna be the
We're
bigger
actually
problem.
preparing 3,500 right now.
I've worked with the elections in various places over the last 20 years, so I was very satisfied with the way April went, so I think
Okay.
that's our best choice.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, with the unknown factors of what's going on, why change it, right?
Right.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. For August, yeah, I think we've got to really put some thought into November, though. That's going to be a big one.
Oh, believe you me, I've been thinking about November
Yep.
for all year. So, yes.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on that? Any communications? Miscellaneous business? Can I get a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Let me mention, the August 11th meeting is going to be canceled that same day as the election. So evidently I can cancel that with concurrence of the council president. And he gave me his blessing today. So.
And what you need to do is get, before that, an authorization from us to do the vouchers and everything, right? So.
Yeah,
No,
well,
that's in the code. When we.
that is?
When we.
It's in the code already.
Yeah,
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
when we did the recodification, that was in there.
Oh, okay, good. Easy enough.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned at 6:20.